Hi, welcome back. Today I wanted to speak about a breakthrough. When your breakthrough will come. You're probably sitting there wondering when everything will fall into place, why things are not happening the way they should be, and you just need something. You need something to fall into place and something to work. What I'm here to tell you is that your breakthrough won't happen in just one single aha moment. It's a series of events and a series of small internal shifts that happen. In order for your breakthrough to come and for it to happen, you need to be ready to receive it and to accept it, and also to be able to identify that this is your breakthrough. If you're not at that place yet, then that breakthrough will not come. Let me just start off with a story. So, I've got a few notes here that I've got. So, the story at 21 years old, I became a single mom. And at the time, I was in university. I was about to start my final year of my law degree. So my daughter, who's 8 now, was born 3 weeks, or 2 weeks actually, before I started my final year. In that moment, I knew I had two options. It's either you drop out of university and become a mom, or you carry on going, understanding that things are not going to be easy for the next few years because one, you're going to be a single mom, two, you're going to have to finish your education, and three, you're going to have to try to figure out who you are as a mom, who you are yourself within yourself. Because at the time, I was still like low key, kind of still a child about to enter the adult world, and I needed to keep growing as a person. I was in a maze. I was confused, I was lost, but one thing I knew is my life was in my hands and I needed to take responsibility for myself, for my life, so I could be the best mom that I can be. So I decided to carry on going and finish my university degree. But during that time, I wanted to understand who I was. So I started digging deep into psychology, gaining more self awareness, and learning about myself because I also wanted to help other people. Over the last few years, I've realized the difficulties that come not only being a single parent with dreams and aspirations and trying to get there, but also the difficulties that come with trying to understand yourself as a young person. A lot of this stuff was happening in my 20s. I just turned 30 a few months ago. So during that time, there was a lot of ups and downs. You know, there's expectations when you're young that, oh, you should hit this goal by this time. You should have this by this time. And that can really put pressure on us as people. What I learned through that journey of having to take responsibility for myself has been amazing and has made me realize that the shifts that have happened throughout my 20s that have led me to a point where I have been able to understand myself more and be that best mom that I can be while trying to balance my career as an entrepreneur has been amazing. There's times that I have felt frustrated, but at the same time, there's times I've felt ecstasy because I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is working out. And I've had so many breakthroughs. And those breakthroughs are like little cheese breadcrumbs that are left. And then you just pick it up one bit by bit. But the thing is, you need to be able to recognize what those are. And one of the things that we can get lost in and get confused in as people is that the illusion of the big breakthrough. The big breakthrough doesn't come instantly straight away. We're often sold that, success and transformation happens in one defining moment. It doesn't work like that. But the truth is, real change is a result of the little small shifts that you do over time within yourself and within your own world. And the other thing is, small shifts make a big difference. Those tiny, tiny little changes that you make, like choosing how to start your day. Simple things like, I remember when there was a moment when I decided to go self employed. At the time, my daughter had just started school. And at the same time, I was going self-employed, and I was also about to start a business, and I was about to finish my final year. Again, I'm always putting myself in these situations. I was about to start my final year of my master's degree in positive psychology. So I had a lot of things to hit, and I set myself a challenge. This simple challenge would help me to start my days well and simple and in a positive way. One of those things was I'm going to do a 365-day yoga challenge. And I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. for the next 8 months so I can get this dissertation in. And do you know what? For those 8 months, I was up doing yoga every morning. I had a morning routine, getting up at 5 a.m., doing yoga, doing meditation, doing reading. I had those steps. And I was also journaling in the morning as well. There's a guy also called How what's his name? Bear with me. Let me search. There's a name. Let me just, so I can actually get it properly. His name is How Elrod, right? And he has this method called the Miracle Morning. And it's got this acronym. He calls it SAVERS. I came across that. And I also came across the 5 a.m. club, right? And some of those steps were that in the morning, SAVERS is an acronym for silence. In the morning, you do meditation, you sit there and reflect quietly. There were affirmations, you can do them. You can do visualization, you can do exercise, like, physical exercise like the yoga. You can read, also just personal growth, so you can grow within yourself. And also you can write, writing is the S, which is scribing. So, and the writing is like journaling in the morning. So most of the time I was doing that. And you can break those steps in a way that works for you. So for me, I was doing yoga, I was doing meditation. Through meditation, you can visualize. I was also reading in the mornings, and I was journaling. And affirmations, they were there, but they weren't like a thing, right? But you work around who you are and your personal self, so you can find a system that works for you. So that was something that helped me. And through that, I was able not only, I can't, bear with me, I've lost my tab. Oh, there it is. um Through that, bear with me. Through that, I was able to have a constructive routine every morning, which helped me to move forward, because the pressure that I was feeling, I needed something to ground me. And when I have a goal, I always go back to those structure. Sometimes in life, you need structure. And those things that I was doing in the morning helped me to be able to stay aligned with where I was going and the goals that I had in order to finish my master's and to get my business off the ground while being a parent. And those small shifts add up to create big changes eventually. You may not notice the shifts in that moment, but eventually you can start to see how those like small moments of shifting help you to be able to move forward. And the other thing was about embracing the process, not just the result. Um, it's about not focusing on the destination. So sometimes we can be hard on ourselves, and we can think, okay, we need to hit this goal by this time. And if we don't, we get disappointed. We get frustrated with ourselves. And when you become aware that it's actually about the journey and the process to your breakthrough, it's much easier for you to know, wow, I am making steps forward. I remember a few years ago, this is one of the things I saw in my journal. And as I've been reading through my journals, as I said, I was going to share my inner world with you a little bit more. I was reading through my journal, and I had a friend a few years ago, and he said to me, just have one thing you look forward to every day. One thing. One thing a day that you look forward to. It could be something small, like, oh, I've managed to do my yoga today. That's something to look forward to. It could be I've managed to do my to-do list that I said I was going to do. And these small steps are about you having that breakthrough. It's like a breakthrough model. Have something every day that you feel like this is a breakthrough. Like something simple, like I've done what I said I was going to do today. I've woke up today and I'm grateful. That's a breakthrough. So it's about having that model that says, okay, if you were to have breakthroughs daily, what is your personal life breakthrough? What is, your career breakthrough? What is your financial breakthrough? What are your relationship breakthroughs? So if you can have one breakthrough a day, no matter how small, you're winning. And the other thing, so those daily habits help you to build the blocks. And the next thing is about just shifting your mindset. A lot of the successes and the breakthrough that you have, they happen internally first, because you need to view how you're viewing the world and yourself. Then everything else in your external world shifts. So it could be something simple like being able to identify sometimes what your problem behaviors are or your problem attitudes are. Something simple for me, I had a problem behavior, which is procrastination. And through procrastination, I knew sometimes, because I'm a clutch person, sometimes I like to do things last minute, but I know that was a problematic behavior. So through my morning routines, that made sure like I would get up and do what I needed to do. The things I may not be able to do during the day, I can do them during the mornings when I get up early. Especially when you're a mom and you're a single parent, what happens is you don't have time sometimes during the day to be able to do all the other stuff that you want to do, because sometimes you've got to attend to your child. You've got to do what you need to do to essentially make sure you're balancing all your different roles. You've got like 15 different hats on. So you need to be able to find time during the day to allocate so you can do some of the things you want to do. And being able to identify what your problem behaviors are, such as procrastinations, or what your problem attitudes are, such as maybe you're maybe somebody who whinges, who moans, who sees things from a negative perspective, somebody who's always blaming, somebody who's quite prideful, someone who's stubborn. What are your attitudes that are holding you back? Then if you're able to identify those things, you can actually start making those internal shifts within your head or within your internal state. Then you can start making the shifts forward. And all these things will allow you to be able to have that breakthrough. And the other thing is being patient with yourself. We can be hard on ourselves, and we can be hard, yeah, we can be hard on ourselves. And through being able to identify that things won't happen overnight, but all this effort that you're putting into your growth, into who you are, there's an end result at the end of it. It may not happen today, it may not happen tomorrow, it may not happen like 5 years from now, but it will happen at some point. But there's the need sometimes to just let things be and accept things for what they are right now, and accept where you are in that moment, without being hard on yourself, but being patient, understanding things are happening at the time they should be. Everything is happening, and where you are is where you need to be right now. There's so many times in my 20s that I felt like, why are things not happening the way I want them to? Why are things not falling into place the way I want them to? When is my big breakthrough coming? And when it became more clearer that, you know what, you just need to be patient and all will be fine, you put less pressure on yourself and you're actually able to perform at your optimum level. And then you can have that more life satisfaction where your happiness is not dependent on big breakthroughs coming. Your happiness is actually coming from, the meaning that you're finding in everyday moments. And through that, it's about being patient. It's about having gratitude for where you are right now, this moment. And when you start to be more patient with yourself, you start being kinder with yourself. And I think sometimes if you're a parent, You can be a bit tough on yourself because you feel guilty, like you feel like the parent guilt, like, oh my God, like, I need to be with my child. Sometimes, you've got to try balance so many things as a parent. And there's a lot of pressures that can come from that. And it's just about being patient with yourself and, saying, I'm trying the best that I can. And that's one thing I realized when I got to a point when I felt like, you know what, I was able to start recognizing the signs the universe was giving me. Oh, was giving me about the little steps of breakthrough, the little breadcrumbs and the little cheese it was leaving for me to pick up and then to be able to notice. Then when I started to notice those signs, things were becoming little bit more clearer. And that allowed me to just trust in the journey, in the process, and to trust in myself. And understanding that breakthroughs happen slowly, but they will get there eventually. And the power comes from your journey. The power comes from your journey, because your journey is yours alone. And it's about owning your story and believing in your story, and actually not being ashamed of your story, and understanding that I am here because I'm making these small steps forward. And no matter how hard sometimes life gets and how demanding life gets, and no matter how things can feel like they like life can feel like it's slapping you in the face all the time, but understanding that you can own your story, and you have to believe in the power of your story and believe in the power of you. And then through that, you can actually keep moving forward to whatever breakthrough you're wanting. You could be wanting a breakthrough, for example, for a relationship. Be somebody who wants a relationship, but it's like you feel like you keep meeting the wrong people, and then eventually you keep working on yourself, then eventually you're like, oh wow, this is why what was leading me here. Or you could be somebody who's stuck in a relationship, who, the relationship it doesn't really fulfill you. You don't really like that relationship. It's not fulfilling your needs, and you're not happy. You finally start to realize, okay, this is what I need to do. Or you could be somebody who's starting a business, and then you start to realize the gaps in your business, in your strategy, in your processes. Then eventually you can move forward. For me, for example, with my business, I'm a doer. I can get things done. However, sometimes I've got ideas, but sometimes I can have my hands in loads of different pots. Clearly, because obviously I'm a mom, I've got to do all that. I've got to do a lot of things. But that's not an excuse. It's just the demands that come with having so many responsibilities and wearing so many hats. So what I did, I found myself some mentors and some advisors, people who could help to guide me and direct me. So they were basically holding my hand on my path. And that cleared up a clearer path for me to be able to see where I'm going with people with experience. So you're able to actually identify what you need in your life. And that is some of the breakthroughs that you will have when you start recognizing the areas that you're lacking and the areas that you need to address, and what you need to do to move yourself forward, and who you need around you to help you to move forward. And sometimes it's not about what you want, it's about what you need. So it's two different things. Sometimes we can want certain things, but that's not what we need. And being able to differentiate the two will help you to be able to identify when your breakthroughs are actually being dotted around. So understand, just because you want something, that don't mean you need it, right? Have to need something, and then it will manifest itself to allow your breakthrough to happen. So there's power in your journey, and there's power in the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows of life. And those small shifts, they shape you into the person you're becoming and the person who you are. And it's not about waiting for the big moment to happen. It's about understanding that you're a changing and evolving being. And when you start to be kind, to be patient to yourself, and to just embrace the journey and trust in the unknown, all the weight on your shoulders will just fall away. You're like, oh, I'm at peace. Because you understand there's a bigger purpose. You understand that there's more to who you are. You understand that life is preparing you for who you need to be. And when you're able to understand that, the breakthroughs will keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. And you'll be so blessed and you'll be surrounded by abundance and you'll be able to recognize it. Because sometimes we can be in a mindset where we're so stuck, where we're feeling like our breakthroughs are not coming, our breakthroughs are not happening. Then we stop and we don't recognize all the beauty and the abundance that's around us, and stop and being grateful. There's so many things we can be grateful for, but sometimes we miss it because we're so stuck. We're looking for that breakthrough to happen, that big moment to happen. But that big moment is not going to happen just instant. It happens slowly because you need to be prepared to get there. My journal, I'm going to just share with you. So I've taken pictures of my journal. So I'm going to read you a little snippet for my journal. And is it this one? Okay. So this is a journal entry I wrote a few years back, 8 years ago or so. And I wrote, yo, life is really trying to test me, but it's okay because I understand that this is all part of life and this is how things are meant to be in my life for the moment. Seems like I haven't really been here for a while, for the last couple months. I'm dealing with shit. I can't quite put my finger on what it is, but long story short, I'm trying to figure myself out and I'm trying to figure out where I stand, etc. But I know I'll figure it out soon. I know soon enough I will. When I think back to everything that's been going on and that's happened in my life over the last few years, it all makes sense that it was meant to happen. So I am stressing because I know all this stuff will pass and life is the most wonderful gift that we are given. Funny thing today though, I transferred money into the wrong nursery account. So I was trying to transfer money to my daughter's nursery account. I don't know how I did that. Yeah, it just happened. That's why I say life is testing me. You see how that one little incident led me to just write about me, how life was testing me. But I guess there had been a series of events that had happened up to that I was like, no, I need to write about this. So it's about understanding that there is a bigger purpose to your path, to your journey, to your story. And soon enough, it will reveal itself. All you just need to have is a little bit of patience and a little bit of awareness. The awareness allows you to be able to see the little breakthroughs that are happening little by little. That patience allows you to be kind to yourself in the process when things are not going well. And you just need that moment to ground yourself and know where you came from and where you're going. I hope you've enjoyed this. And yeah, I'll see you next time. And yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments. And don't forget to like, to subscribe. I never thought I would be saying that. But yeah, let me know what you think. And let me know if you've had any breakthroughs recently. What are some of the little breakthroughs that you've been having in your life, no matter how small? And start to just think now. You may be missing them, but what are some of the breakthroughs that you've been having in your life? Try look for them. It could be very, very small things. Let me know. I know. Thank you. See you later.